Spark the brain, 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 spark the brain. We here. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. It's the third round RPB. I don't know if they ready for this one, man. We gotta switch it up on them a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Have a seat at the master's table. We ain't asked for no seat. We went and built up our own. You see, it's rather stable. You got 2 eyes, 2 ears, you know the rest. Look, listen, and observe, but also respect. In God we trust. It's obvious. The money ain't the root of all evil, but lack thereof. That's why they deprive you of resources. Why they focus on streams of income, at least 3 sources. We certified, we solidified. And they say they created hip-hop, but all that shit is lies. Cause every element came before the development of what we calling hip-hop now. It's all relevant to all the topics we gon' touch on. Spoiler alert, as we play this album, ain't no club songs. Boy, that hurt, but this ain't no conscious album. It's just that real shit, that Black God mantra album. I hope y'all feel this. Spark the brain, 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 spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. My mind is spark the brain, spark the brain.
The masters, the masters, the masters, the masters.
Peace, God.
Hey, Dad. He's so good.
Hey, man, I got you a new book.
A new book?
Check it out. Check it out. Let me know how you like it. I'll be back. Man, this Bitcoin, this Ethereum ain't doing nothing for me right now, man. Gotta find some new investments.
Peace, God. What you doing?
Peace, God. Good.
I think this book is kind of inappropriate.
Inappropriate? What's up with it?
It's inappropriate because look at these.
LGBT? Oh, man, I'm sorry about that, God.
I accept your apology.
Man, it's a shame, man. You can't even find no decent books for you nowadays without having to have these difficult conversations.
I have an idea. Maybe
that?
we should make a series of our own book.
A book series? That is a good idea.
7 volumes.
7, I get it. 7 volumes. What should we call it?
7 the Super Hey Rude.
7 the Perfect. 7 the Super Hey Rule.
And then maybe we could even make some bundles of it once we get to volume 3.
Oh, see, now you're thinking like a businessman. I like that idea, man. A foundational Black American children's series.
Perfect.
Visit www.godcastbooks.com and pre-order your book today.
Master elements.
Racism, white supremacy is a dynamic system for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival on the planet. White supremacy.
In an evil system, a system that is designed deliberately to produce evil thoughts, to produce animosity, to produce violence.
Introduction to African civilizations and man-garden civilization.
Master elements. Master elements.
To dedicate lives to the study of history.
They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation.
The right way is clearly distinct from error.
Racism is a competitive relationship between groups of people who are competing for the ownership and control of resources, wealth, and power.
Master elements.
For suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious. So I move. All right, I'm here. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. I am here. I am here. Welcome everybody. Come on up in here. Come on up in this thing. Come on up in this thing. Man, welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Wait, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Welcome to another episode, family, of Sincere Love the Godcast. I am the God Sincere Love. And once again, I am solo dolo tonight. Shout out to my co-host, Nicey Girl. She should be pulling up to the digital building at some point or another. But everybody who's here right now, I need you guys to hit that like button. I need you to share this out on your social media platforms and let everybody know that I am live right now. Man, we got some business to take care of tonight. Let everybody know that I am live right now on Sincere Love the Godcast. Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. Y'all know how we do, right? And if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do me that favor. Click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. If you're watching me on Facebook, if you're watching me on Twitter, take a trip on over to the YouTube, man. Let's get these subscribes up. Let's get these likes up. Thumbs up, everybody. Y'all know how we got to do it to get boosted into this algorithm. All of that YouTube-y type of stuff. So, yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live with new content, family. We got a lot of different weekly series going on and bi-weekly series going on this channel here. I'm collaborating with different folks, you know what I mean? Trying to bring some different angles of the content for y'all in one centralized location, you know what I'm saying? And so on Sundays, me and my sister Nicey Girl, we cover current events. We talk about important issues pertaining to Black society for our weekly broadcast of Sincere Love the Godcast. That's Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. On Wednesday nights, we have the Black Business Showcase series, which is our weekly series where we bring on business owners and entrepreneurs, and we chop up some good game with them. Every other Thursday, now we got the Pick Me Godcast with Nicey Girl and Brown Skin Baddie, where they talk about the relationships between Black men and women and all of the important things surrounding that dynamic. So you want to tune in for that as well. Also, I have my weekly series where I share with y'all my process as I document my process and my progress in the GS Partners program, where I'm invested in some of the metaverse certificates that they offer on the platform. And so I go live every week. Sometimes it's just me by myself, you know, popping the hood on my dashboard to show you guys my progress for the week, so you guys can see how that's working out for me. And also I bring other partners and members of the GS platform on and interview them about the success that they're having or the experience that they're having in the program as well. And so that's something else you guys can look for, especially, you know what I'm saying, those of you who are looking for different opportunities to invest your bread. You know what I mean? You're looking for different ways where you can make your money work for you rather than you having to work for the money all of the time. You know what I'm saying? You're interested in putting yourself in position to being able to capitalize on some compound interest with some of your savings. Then you definitely want to have that notification bell clicked so you can catch me when I go live to break that stuff down. And very soon, I'm going to be starting another weekly series called The Masters Decoded, where I'm going to be breaking down some of the lyrics from the new album with me and my brother DJ RPB. Shout out DJ RP Beats, man. We got the new album, The Masters Table, available now. You guys could you guys could go, let me get my banners up here. You guys could go to www.themastersrsvp.com to get your copy of the Masters Table. We dropped it the other day on the 14th, actually. The digital downloads, that is. We're still working on the CD, the physical copies. We're going to be getting those out soon. But the digital downloads are available instantly. You guys can get your merch, your hoodies, your posters, all of that good stuff, the whole package for the Masters Table album. But yeah, we dropped it under a week ago, and the response so far has been overwhelming. Shout out to all of the people that tapped in with us early, everybody who pre-ordered and been supporting us from day one. Shout out to all of y'all. We're loving the response and the feedback that we've been getting for the album so far, man. Definitely appreciate all of y'all. And as you guys know, me and my partners at Godcast Enterprises, we are working on a children's book series as well called 7 the Super Hey Rule, which is a foundational Black American children's series based on my son 7. And volume 1 is almost ready to go, and it's actually ready for pre-order right now. You guys can go to www.godcastbooks.com and pre-order 7's Big Move right now. All right, just got off a call with a meeting with them just a little while ago before I got on here with y'all. So yeah, we at the very tail end of becoming authors for the first time, me and my sisters. So yeah, you wanna get those for your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters, grandbabies, any little ones that you got in your life, the early readers. This is gonna be dope to add to their collection right there. Some nice, good, wholesome fun for the kids without any hidden agendas or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So tap in with us for the book, man. Godcastbooks.com. That is on the way. What else? What else? Of course, you know, I'll just throw that up right there for now. You know, we could just leave that up right there for now. You guys know if you want to support us, you know, you could do it via the super chat. We have the super chat on YouTube. And that's cool if you guys want to do that. Hold on, what am I doing here? That's cool if you guys want to do that. But the best way that you could support us is just by hitting the Cash App at $GodcastENT. All right. So be one to the family. Let me see what we got in here. Shout out to the Sour God. Salute to the Sour God. Michael Moon, Foundational Black Americans Rise Up. Yes, indeed. Coming through the show, love. I have to watch this on the playback. I appreciate you, Queen Mo Fire. Shout out to Gary in the building. PD Chicago B1 family. Shout out to my brother, Pastor Tony in the digital building. Everybody else that's joining us, everybody else that's coming in the room. Again, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share this out. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. So we getting ready to handle this business, man. If you guys haven't been paying attention to my channel, you know, about 2 weeks ago or something, a little over a week ago, I had a conversation, kind of a debate with this brother named Omowale. I don't remember his last name, his full name that he goes by, but his name is Omowale, Pan-African brother. Me and him had an Instagram live conversation, really just addressing, because he had made a post, you know, speaking down negatively about the term foundational Black Americans and, you know, characterizing it as a group and all of that. And so we had a conversation about it. And if you guys saw that, and you know, I was very respectful. I tried to keep it as cool as possible during that conversation. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't disrespectful to the brother at all. I wasn't taking no shots, no low blows or nothing. I'm just having a straightforward conversation, asking some sensible questions about, you know, why we are being questioned about our lineage and our ethnicity, you know what I mean? And why the attacks and things of that nature, right? I kept it very, very respectful, you know what I mean? Even though I felt I was being disrespected during that conversation, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, you know, the brother was very condescending. He was talking down a little bit. He was doing a little sneak dissing and all of that stuff during the whole conversation. But I played past that. I didn't feed into none of that. I was just focused. I was just focused in on just having a constructive conversation, because again, my goal wasn't really to come there to try to change this brother's mind. He already got his mind made up about whatever he got his mind made up about, right? But what I did was I took his argument in good faith. You know what I mean? I gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was arguing in good faith. And I had a straightforward conversation with him, and I didn't want it to devolve into some trolling and all of this stuff. And so Gary says Omowale is very arrogant. I don't mind the arrogance. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations throughout my life where you have to learn how to deal with different personality types. And so I'm very good at adjusting to different personalities and dealing with different types of people in different ways. And so I don't really be getting in my feelings and things like that. I didn't allow him to get under my skin or to push my buttons and get me off of my square. He came off very sus, says PD Chicago. Anyway, so we had that discussion. And really, for me, that was really that. I did a live reaction to the discussion after that, only because I felt like there were some points that was missed. There were some points that I wanted to touch on during the conversation that kind of got bypassed, just in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes when you be having a conversation and, especially a heated conversation, a lot of times you might be getting into it with your girl, or you might be getting into it with one of your homies, or, you know what I'm saying, a family member, or whatever the case may be. Then after the conversation is over with, you'll be like, damn, I should have said this. You know what? When he said that, I don't know why I ain't think to say such and such. And so, it's that type of shit. That was the only reason why I did a reaction to it. It wasn't about trying to really keep this thing going and dragging it on. It was what it was. You know what I'm saying? As far as I was concerned, that was that. It was over with. We keep it moving. But I think like every day since then, the brother has been making video after video, going live with different people, just harping on the issue. And if y'all remember during the conversation, he was trying to downplay it and make light of it. He was like, I haven't even been talking about this FBA thing for like 2 years. I just kind of mentioned it the other day. But he said 2 years ago, he was going in on ADOS and he was going in on FBA, which, that's another thing that he does, constantly trying to conflate the two and lie about the association between the two and all of that. But he was downplaying, like, I didn't even think about y'all like that. I just put up a little post, you know what I'm saying? But really, for the last 2 years, I ain't even been talking about this FBA thing. But ever since that day, he's been making video after video. He was going in, taking low-key shots at Raheem Shabazz, taking shots at my brother Chase McGee, and of course, constant shots at Tariq Nasheed. And now to be clear, these are all grown-ass men. I don't have to defend any of them, but those are my brothers. I do rock with them. And so during this conversation, I will be doing a little bit of defense for my brother. Shout out to Chase, shout out to Raheem, shout out to Tariq Nasheed, of course. But them brothers can handle their own business. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really here to defend my own honor, because on some of these lives, he's been misrepresenting some of the things that I said during our conversation and some of the things that I've been saying for the longest on these different platforms. Ray S, shout out to Ray S. I'm new here. Okay, welcome. It looked like you got the paid in full background going on over there. Airbnb Rock Kim joint, classic album cover. But welcome to the Godcast family. Make yourself at home. And so, the dude just been nonstop making videos, doing lives. And, people been sending me clips and stuff over the last, however long it's been, week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it's been. People, every time he do a video, it's people sending me clips. Yo, you saw this, you saw this. And, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I'm looking at it like, you punching at the air at this point. You know what I'm saying? You punching at the air at this point. It kind of remind me of after Nas made Ether, when Nas and Hove got into it. After Nas dropped Ether, the battle really was over. And then Jay just kept making songs, trying to recover from it after that. But nothing was really landing. Shout out to Polytalk TV. I see you. I believe most of these Pan-Africanists who are foundational Black Americans either hate their own ethnic group or they want us to be the mule of the diaspora. Interesting. I have my thoughts about that as well. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't tripping off the videos. You know what I'm saying? He kept making all these videos. I wasn't tripping. People sending it to me. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I said what I said. No lies were told. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come with no type of anything that was going to deter anybody who's been really tapped into the information. You didn't come with nothing that was like, oh, you know what? You got a good point right there. Maybe I might have to second think that. It was nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, cool, whatever. But the last thing that he did was rather egregious, in my opinion. Very grimy, slimy move that he did the other day, yesterday, I believe it was. He brought on Professor James Smalls, and not the fact that he brought him on. You want to bring him on and have a conversation, that's cool, no problem. But the way that he was framing the discussion and the way that he was lying about what FBA stands for and the things that we're saying, the narrative that we're pushing, me, myself, specifically, Tariq Nasheed in particular, lying about what we've been saying out here and what we've been representing. And it was very telling to me because during our conversation, when I brought up Professor James Small, Dr. Kaba, and Dr. Ma'at, almost in passing, it was like a response to something that he said, because he said something to the effect of, you know, you guys putting up the images of all of these master teachers, and what you are doing is spitting in the face of all of the work that they did. And so my only question was like, well, you know, we can't really speak to the dead, you know, what they would agree with and what they wouldn't agree with. But we still have some of their students who are here. Some of the master teachers who are still here with us are the students of the very people that you named. And a lot of them are kind of rocking with us. You know what I mean? A lot of them are rocking with us with the FBA thing. A lot of them are part of this discussion. They're not pointing out any contradictions in what we're saying in comparison to the things that they've been teaching and to the things that they've been taught. And so I'm like, you know, why do you see such a problem with it and they don't? Legitimate question. It wasn't like I was trying to hang my hat or hang the FBA hat on Professor James Small, which is the way he tried to frame it. You know, these guys are trying to use your name to legitimize themselves. And that's not what it was at all. I just asked a legitimate question, right? And so he brought the man on there, and again, with the lying and the deceitfulness, right? Because when we were speaking, he was saying that Professor James Smalls and Dr. Kaba, basically, paraphrasing, basically are not tapped in enough to the conversation to understand what this is all about. They don't have the proximity that he has to really understand what the FBA movement is all about. And that's the reason why they might be kind of co-signing and signal boosting it, because they don't really know what's up. So I need to put them on to what's up. And when he called himself putting Professor James Small on, what he was doing was he was lying. If you're going to have the conversation, just be honest. But what he was doing was he was lying in order to steer the conversation a certain way, in order to fish a certain type of response out of Baba Smalls. And that was very grimy. And to me, that shows a disrespect towards Professor James Smalls, because you're underestimating James Smalls, saying he's not tapped into the conversation. And so with that being your vantage point, with that being the lens that you're looking at Professor James Smalls in through, you're saying, okay, he's not tapped in. So I could lie to him and he ain't even going to peep game. I could lie to him about what all this FBA thing is really all about and sway him over on my side, or at least get him to say some things that I could use the sound bites from to support my argument. But all I got to do is word it a certain type of way and angle it a certain type of way, because he's not fully tapped in. So I could run that type of game. That's how that came across. And that's why I said that was egregious what you did, brother. That's why I said that was egregious what you did. That was very disrespectful, not only to me and others who you were mentioning in the conversation that you were taking your slick shots at, but that was disrespectful to Baba James Smalls, family. That was disrespectful. Give Baba James Smalls the full context and allow him to respond. Right? Very deceptive. Let me see what y'all talking about over here. Da-da-da-da-da. Don't tell me he went to Brother Smalls and told a different story. Laugh my ass off. Brother Smalls is tapped in with the grassroots. That was a low blow to bring on Professor James Small to cause further division between FBA and our elders. Yeah, man, he was trying to do some real grimy shit. So just to let you know, you did a very good job on Omowale's channel. Omowale looked like an idiot on his own channel. Wow, okay. So you found me through his channel. Okay, shout out to you again. Barry Johnson, if you watch the entire interview with Professor Small, you will see Professor Small defend FBA. He definitely defends FBA. He says what it is. And in reality, I'm going to play it. In reality, I don't have a problem with too much of what Professor James Smalls was saying. Most of what he was saying, I agree with, and we've been saying the same thing for a very long time. Again, there's no conflict. There's no contradiction, right? And so she said very, very deceptive. I'm sure Professor Smalls did. He rocks with FBA heavy. Agreed. His tactic backfired. Sourgar, I completely agree. Yeah, he actually blazed the trail for the ADOS and FBA movement. I remember his video on calling out Black immigrants in the early 2000s. Matter of fact, let me pull that up for those that don't remember. Hold on, I got to get the page up. Hold on a second. Y'all rock with me for a second. Hit the like button, family. Hit the share button and all of that. Y'all get y'all some snacks or something. I'm going to be here for a minute. This is going to be a slow cook. See, because I like to give full context. I'm not here to try to be deceptive and try to angle things a certain way. I want to flesh the whole conversation out and give full context so people can draw their own conclusions based on the reality of the situation, not based on just me trying to angle it a certain way. That's that deceptive shit. I don't get down like that. Is it in here? No. Oh yeah. It's right here. So this is Baba James Smalls some years ago when he was asked a question in the right way. You know what I'm saying? When you frame the question correctly, you know, you get the answer, you get the correct answers. Oh, I opened up another page. My bad, y'all. Give me a second because I got to reshare this because it opened up a whole nother page. Let me pause that. I got to reshare it because it opened up a whole nother tab for me. Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. That's one thing, StreamYard. That's one thing y'all got to get together for me. StreamYard. I should be able, once I hit share page, I should be able to have it follow my monitor, my mouse to whichever tab I go to. It should follow me. I shouldn't have to keep doing this stop share, reshare stuff and all of that. Let's get that together, StreamYard. Wait, I'm not logged in. I'm not logged in for some reason, but I can still play the video though. All right, here we go.
A lot of people, especially from the Caribbean and other places,
what people are trying to do is play a little shell game with you. I own a grocery store that you shop at. You treat me like a human being. You don't say I'm gonna boycott you because you don't live here. You come and shop at my store and treat me like a human being, but I can't even treat you like a human being in reference. I shop at your store when you don't even share your money in my community. You don't build in my social community. You don't even come and go to my church. You establish your own church. No white community does that. When the Irish come to America, they go to whatever Catholic church or Protestant churches in the community they move in. When my brothers and sisters come from the continent or from the Caribbean, they set up their own separate Protestant church or their separate Catholic church, but they don't, or they'll go to the white Catholic church, but they won't come and make their home within the black church. Right there, tell me who's discriminating against whom. But see,
the businesses, but African Americans have been here all.
And so can y'all hear that pretty good? The audio is kind of off from the video, but can y'all at least hear what he was saying in the video? That's not the Brooklyn I grew up in. That's nothing but little Caribbean. And Black Americans are damn near too terrified to call out the problem.
Man, is that what's going on in Brooklyn? It's cool. Y'all can hear it. All right. Just want to make sure y'all can hear it. I don't know what's going on right there, though. Something's going on. The video and the audio is off. So I think the full audio played before the video. That's what it is. So that's what he had to say about that when he was asked the question. Right? He kept it a buck. He kept it a milli. He kept it a milli. Right? And also, there's another one. I think my sister Nicety posted that today. Let me go to Nicety's page. I think Nicety posted that one up today, if I'm not mistaken. Where we at? All right. So check this one out. Same interview, different clip. Share. Hold up. I hate that I got to go through all of this, but that's where we at.
To have us deny our identity as African Americans, while other Africans come from other places and try to assume that identity for economic reasons and political reasons, and yet do not ally themselves with the African American in most instances. That those immigrant African community tend to ally themselves with the European American, not understanding what the historical relationship between the African American and the European American is, or the war, the cultural war and the spiritual war and the economic war and the political war that still exists between those two communities. So when you're an African from another place and you come and say, well, I can't get caught up in that, I'm here to make money, then you ally yourself with someone I'm at war with and wonder why I treat you a certain way. So you need to understand what you have just done. Besides disrespecting me in my country, something I would never do to you in your country. I would not go to Senegal and choose the side of the French against you. I would not come to Jamaica and choose the side of the Brits against you. So why would you come to America and choose the side of the white American for whatever reason, economic, political, cultural, or whatever, against me and my interests, and then tell me I'm unwelcoming to you? I welcome my friends and my brothers and sisters. I do not welcome my enemies, whether they look like me or not. Let's get that clear up front. And then let's look at some of the episodes in the epic history.
All right. So those of y'all who remember that video, what year was that? How long ago was that video right there with Professor James Small? That was some time ago. How long ago was that video right there, if anybody knows? Because everything that he's saying on that topic is exactly the basis of the whole FBA movement in the first place. Right. Look, he said around 2005 or so, maybe 2008. This was way before the FBA movement. Right? It was way before the delineation started to take place. But exactly what he was saying in that video is the basis for the entire movement in the first place. We late to the party. We late to the party. We ain't saying nothing different than what he said in that video right there. Nothing different at all. But somehow, and yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit disrespectful because bro, when I spoke to you the first time, I showed you the utmost respect and I took the condescension from you and all of that. But what you did here is very egregious. So the gloves are off, man. The gloves are off. And so, yeah, this big waterhead nigga had to come and start lying to Baba Smalls about what we are saying. Now, some of the things that he's lying about, let me say this. Some of the things that he's lying about, people are out there saying that. We ain't Africans. We ain't got nothing to do with Africa. We ain't never been Africans. We've been here 4 million years. The pyramids here are older than the pyramids in Egypt and all that. There's people out there that are saying those things, but he knows damn well that that's not what we are saying, the people that he's addressing. If he has a problem with that, he needs to address those individuals who are saying those things instead of trying to attack the FBA lineage and the FBA movement. Deal with the people who you hear saying that shit, because Sincere Love to God don't say that. Tariq Nasheed don't say that. Chase McGee doesn't say that. Okay? Raheem Shabazz, he don't say that. I got Chase McGee's book right here. One of his, I got his whole series right here. He got a whole book series. He got a whole book series talking about the global presence of black people. Right? He got a whole series talking about the global presence of black people, talking about the indigenous people who were here before Columbus and all of that. Talking about black people all throughout ancient Africa and all of that. So Chase McGee is not saying that. Right? But you do have some people out here that's saying dumb shit like that. Call those people out, because I have been right here on this platform. I have been calling those people out. I've even criticized our brother Tariq Nasheed a little bit during the time when Secure the Tribe was coming all up in the spaces real heavy. A lot of those indigenous groups were latching themselves on to FBA, which I'm not saying that they're not FBA by lineage. Many of them are, right? And so when they heard that, they latched themselves onto the momentum that was behind FBA, is what I'm saying. They were trying to associate themselves by proxy with Tariq Nasheed by being in those spaces, getting shout outs from Tariq Nasheed, coming into spaces. But what they would do, the deceptive thing that they would do when they would come into spaces, they wouldn't talk all of that. And what's that dude's name? Oh man, what's that dude's name? Y'all know who I'm talking about, man. The nigga with the glasses and the locks and shit. Talking about Harriet Tubman is a made up character and Frederick Douglass never existed. Who's that nigga? What's that nigga's name? What's that nigga's name? Help me out in the chat. What's my man's name? Bingo. Dane Calloway is their master teacher. A lot of those people is on some Dane Calloway shit. But what they was doing was they was coming into the Twitter spaces and they wasn't saying all of that Dane Calloway shit. They would just say the things that they know many of us in Tariq Nasheed would agree with, as far as us being a unique ethnic group, us being foundation of this nation, us being the builders of the U.S. economy, and all of the facts. They would come into the spaces with the facts. But meanwhile, they was running around the Twitter streets and all these other social media streets pushing all this other nonsense. And so that shit was coming across very oppy. And a lot of it was coming from that Secure the Tribe crowd, but not all of it, right? And so when I was seeing that type of behavior, I was calling it out right here on this platform. And I was saying, yo, Tariq need to shake some of these people off, man. I don't know why Tariq keeps shouting certain people out in these spaces. He might want to disassociate with some of these people because they ain't on what we on. They saying some other shit. I've been calling that out. And so if Omowale got a problem with that rhetoric, he needs to call out those specific people who are saying that. Because Tariq Nasheed is not saying that. And again, I don't got to defend Tariq Nasheed, but it's kind of hard to have this conversation without doing that, right? Because Tariq Nasheed, he's the one that came up with the term. He's the one that created the flag. He's the one who created the FBA website. And let me go to the FBA website real quick. What is it? Officialfba.com, I think. Let me go to the FBA website, if I can spell shit correctly. Hold on. All right. Boom. And when has he called out tethers? Right. That's another thing. And I asked him that too. When we had the conversation, I said, yo, how much content do you have calling out these tethers? The people that come over here, disrespecting foundational Black Americans, people that come over here talk about stay away from the Akata and all of this nonsense. How much content do you got calling that out? And he claims he got some video about Nigerians or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But you ain't going live back to back 30 days in a row and bringing Baba James Smalls on to talk about that, though. You ain't doing all of that. You don't got the same energy when it comes to that. And so anyway, let me share this. This is the Foundational Black American website. All right. This is the Foundational Black American website, and this was created by Tariq Nasheed. Because you telling Baba James Smalls that Tariq Nasheed is saying we ain't African at all. We ain't African whatsoever. But this is Tariq Nasheed's website. Tariq Nasheed made this website right here. It says foundational Black Americans are the descendants of Black people who survived one of the greatest atrocities in recorded history, American slavery. FBA are the descendants of Black people who built the United States from scratch. But this history did not start in 1619. The history of FBA started almost 100 years earlier. The first documented foreign settlers in the New World of North America were enslaved Black people who were brought over by Spanish colonizer Lucas Vasquez de Leon, whatever his name is, in 1526. So let's stop right there. So FBA started in 1526 with these Black people who were brought over here by Spanish enslavers and colonizers, right? So where were they brought from? Most likely they were brought from Africa, right? Or they could have been brought directly from Spain. Because remember, we're talking about 1526. We're dead in the middle of the Spanish Inquisition, when they was getting the Moors up out of Spain and all of that. Remember, the Moors had conquered Spain, 711 and all that. The Moors had came through Spain and was running Spain and all that for a long time until I think it was around the 12th century or something, when the European Spanish started to get their weight up and they started to understand the threat of genetic annihilation, and they began codifying the system of white supremacy in Spain. And they was getting the Moors up out of the paint, right? And so the Black people that they brought over here could very well have been captives from the Spanish Inquisition, that whole war situation that was taking place in Spain. But the Moors of Spain still came from Africa, right? They still came from Africa. And so this is acknowledged on the website. So he can't be saying we ain't got nothing to do with Africa, like some of these people are out here saying. Some of these people are out here saying that. Obviously, Tariq Nasheed is not saying that. This is real history. He's not just making shit up. You could research this. You could do your own research, and you're going to come to the same conclusion. These are facts. This is what happened, right? First documented foreign settlers of the New World. Boom. All right. Shortly after Ion and 600 other Spaniards arrived in the area that would later become South Carolina, Georgia coast, the enslaved black captives launched a successful revolt, forcing the few remaining Spanish enslavers to ultimately retreat from the area back towards the Caribbean. The liberated Black people amalgamated into the local native society, and this was a new historic chapter in what would ultimately become the culture of foundational Black Americans. And so we talk about they amalgamated with the native people who were already here. Let me get this book right here from Chase. Let me get this book right here from our brother Chase. You know what I mean? Because he trying to make it seem like Chase McGee is just like some type of I forgot how he worded it, but he basically was just trying to say Chase McGee was just like a clone of Tariq Nasheed. You know, this is a person that doesn't read, he doesn't do no research, he's just parroting Tariq Nasheed. But this brother is becoming a scholar within himself, respect to Chase McGee, man. This brother is doing his own research, and he is out here creating his own archive of work. You know what I'm saying? Based on real research. You know what I'm saying? I seen an interview that he did with Kaba Kamene. And Kaba Kamene said, yo, I read your book, man. This is great work. He said, this is great work, man. I love what you're doing. So come on with the bullshit. But anyway, this book right here is a very quick read, short book, but it's called 19 White Men Who Admitted There Were Indigenous Black People in the Americas. So these are some of the white explorers, enslavers that came over here and documented what they saw when they got here. They were describing the people that they saw when they got here. And so now we just read on the website that the black people who were brought over here by the Spanish, after they revolted and ran the Spanish up out of here, they amalgamated with the natives who were already here. But who were the natives who were already here? Because a lot of times when people hear about the Native Americans, you just automatically think about the red-skinned Mongoloid Indians, right? But like I said, here he documented 19 of the Europeans who came over here and said what they saw. They described the people. I'm just picking through here. I'm just turning to pages. I'm just picking through here. This is a quote. The first Americans were Africans expanded and revised. So who was here? Who did they amalgamate with when they got here? This is who they were amalgamating with when they got here. He even got some pictures in here too that I could show y'all. There's even some pictures in here that I could show y'all. This is what some of the people look like that were here before Columbus. This is either true or it's not. This is not a matter of opinion. B1 Maxwell, peace, peace, peace. There were even periods during colonization when we fought off Europeans and they were forced to retreat for 20-year periods. So what do you think happened? Oh, excuse me. But let me see. I'm looking for some of the descriptions here. These Indians are of middling or rather short stature, and their color is of such a dark brown that it approaches black. These are quotes. This is not Chase McGee's words. These are quotes from some of these people. Trying to see who exactly that is that he's talking about right here. Oh, this is George Langsdorff. This is George Langsdorff's words. This is what he said when he got here. Right? They were so dark that it approaches black. The color is owing very much to their filthy mode of living, the power of the sun's rays, to their custom of smearing their bodies with mud and ember dust, and their slovenly way of wearing their scanty covering. Their lips are large, thick, and protruding. Their noses broad, flat, and Negro-like. Their features in many respects resemble those of Negro, and their color also. It was Negroes here, my niggas. It was Negroes here already. So that's who they amalgamated with. And I've said this many times. Yes, there were Negroes here already before Columbus and the boys got here. And ain't no telling how long Negroes been here before that. But they came from Africa. They came from Africa. So nobody is saying, Omowale, what you lied to Baba Smalls about. Let me play your lies now. It's time to play the lies. It's time to play the lies. Hold on, I gotta skip this commercial. And let me hit the share button. We're gonna get into these lies. I'll be drinking too much damn water. I gotta piss. I gotta piss like a goddamn racehorse. Okay. All right, let me skip this commercial now. Okay, let me slow this back down. Playback speed, normal. All right, let's get into these lies. Oh man, they played another commercial? What's up with that? Played another commercial on me. Hold on. They played another commercial on me. I heard the homie on y'all last debate. He be lying heavy. Yeah, man. Hold on a second, y'all. This thing played another commercial. Hold on. Get that out of here. Can I skip that? All right. And something's going on with the screen here now for some reason. Is he trying to take it down? Is he trying to take the video down? Why is the screen looking like this? Hold on.
For more than a century
decades, for decades.
Oh, yeah, and we have to contend because there's just so much confusion, right? So, what Baba, why have you? There are 4 sentiments.
Hold on, I want to fix the screen, y'all. I don't know why it's looking like that. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. It's probably gonna play another commercial now. I refreshed it. Oh, no, it's playing like that for some reason. I don't know why the screen is like that now, y'all. I was watching it earlier. It wasn't like that. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. Okay. All right. All right. Let me reshare it. It fixed itself. Let me reshare it. Now, when I share it, it's looking janky. I don't know what's up with that. When I share it, it's looking janky, y'all. We might have to just deal with the audio. Y'all might have to bear with me, and we just gotta have to deal with the audio. Y'all listen carefully, okay? Y'all listen carefully. So on the screen, it's Omowale. I forgot the sister's name that was on there with them. He did a live with her a couple of days prior also. I didn't hear her saying no bullshit. When I listened to a couple of clips that people were sending me, when she was speaking, she was talking sense. She was talking sense. He kept trying to throw her like, he kept trying to pitch her some softballs, trying to get her to take shots, but she really wasn't taking those shots. She was kind of like, yeah, you know, it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, some of that stuff that you're saying that they're saying ain't cool, but what I see them doing ain't really that much of a problem. I heard her saying stuff like that. She was like, what they doing ain't much of a problem. It might not be my thing, but I understand where they're coming from, and it's their prerogative to do the delineation thing if that's what they want to do. I'm a Pan-African, but I understand where they're coming from. That's not stopping nothing over here from what I'm doing and what I see as being important. That's kind of how I seen her framing her statements. So I don't really have anything negative to say about her, right? And for some reason, it just looks like this, y'all, but just listen carefully.
To contend because there's just so much confusion, right? So, what Baba, why have you? There are 4 sentiments that are often expressed by our young brothers and sisters when we engage them.
I want to stop it right there. I want to stop it right there too, because that within itself was deceptive. Our young brothers and sisters. Now, most of us are relatively young in comparison to Baba Smalls. He would consider most of us to be young. You know, he's our elder. But I'm older than Omowale, right? Tariq Nasheed is older than me. But furthermore, a lot of the people who I've heard saying some of the things that he's accusing us of are older people. These are not just young people. It's not just a bunch of, some of them are, but it's not just a bunch of young people who just don't know history and all that. Some of these people that's saying these things are ops, in my opinion. And I've been calling them out. Me and Nicety Girl been calling them out right here on this channel since 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that we see them doing is very oppish. And so it ain't just, oh, young, dumb, and all that. No.
Our FBA family, and they are our family. And when they express them, what they'll say is, well, like Baba James, he aligns with us. But
you see that? You see that? Let's bring that back. Boy, we can't even get 25 seconds into the video before the lies start.
James, he aligns with us, but a family, and they are our family. And when they express them, what they'll say is, well, like Baba James, he aligns with us. But
so he's saying when the FBA family expresses these things that he's about to say, we say, well, Baba James Smalls, he aligns with us on these things. That's a lie, because most of these things that he says, none of us agree with. None of us say these things. Let's continue.
I want to share these 4 sentiments with you, and I can do it one at a time, or I can give you all 4. And I want you to be able to just
do all 4, and I can respond, because if I'm late for my sister's birthday, she's gonna kill me.
Gotcha. All right, so I'll give you all 4. I'll give you all 4. So these are 4 of the most common like anti-African sentiments we hear being expressed by some.
I want to fix this, y'all. I want to fix this. I don't know why it's looking like this. Y'all bear with me one second. I want to fix this. Let me close the tab out altogether. I want to fix that. I don't know why it's looking like that. It's distracting to me. I don't know about y'all, but to me, it's distracting. Where is it? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hit the thumbs up button for me, family, if you haven't done that already. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like, share this out. Let everybody know that we're live, debunking the lies. And I'm getting this thing set up now. Hopefully this fixes that little janky situation. Nah, it's still doing that. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know why it's doing that. It didn't look like that earlier. I don't know. We're going to have to deal with it, I guess, man. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. We're going to have to deal with that. All right, let's just continue, man. My bad. My bad.
Black people in America are not African and have no anti-African sentiments we hear being expressed by some of our brothers.
We don't express anti-African sentiments. Sincere Love to God does not express anti-African sentiments. I've never heard Tariq Nasheed, Chase McGee, or Raheem Shabazz express anti-African sentiments. I've heard them express anti-tether sentiments, the same way that we express anti-coon sentiments, as we should. The tethers don't represent all of Africa or all of the African diaspora. The tethers represent the tethered class. On my new project, me and my brother DJ RP Beats' new album, The Master's Table, we got a song called Revenge of the Akata. On the song Revenge of the Akata, the first line is this. This for the tether class, not for the riders in the diaspora. That's the first line. This for the tether class, not for the riders in the diaspora. No disrespect to you, but we got to provide some order. I know they told you stay away from the Akata, but mama should have warned you not to play with the Akata. That's another stream for another day. We'll get into that on another day. But that's the first line on the song. So I'm not just here trying to cop pleas or trying to backtrack any statements or anything like that. I want to be clear. We've been saying this since day one. I got another broadcast on this channel that I want y'all to go check out. I might play some of it here tonight. But I guess another broadcast on this channel called Are Foundational Black Americans Still African? There's a broadcast on this channel called Are Foundational Black Americans Still African? Where I break a lot of this stuff down. This was a year and a half ago or something like that. I did that broadcast, or earlier, like somewhere around last year, around this time, something like that. Right? So I've been saying this. This ain't no backtrack. Omowale, you're just lying.
My sister's birthday, she's gonna kill me.
Gotcha. All right, so I'll give you all 4. I'll give you all 4. So these are 4 of the most common like anti-African sentiments we hear being expressed by some of our brothers and sisters. The first one is Black people in America are not African and have no connection to Africa. We're Native.
I think I already debunked that lie. Just go to the FBA website. You can see right there that we African. All right. Go to the FBA website. You know, if the shot is being taken at Tariq Nasheed, if the shot is being taken at me, you could go through my archives, go to, like I just said, it's Our Foundational Black Americans Still African. That's one. There's another one, I think, called $5 FBAs, where I talk about that. And the one where I was talking about Nipsey Hussle also. I said Nipsey Hussle, the FBA king or legend. I forgot the title of it, but there's one on here about Nipsey Hussle. I talked about that as well. So if the shot is taken at any one of us, we got receipts of what we've been saying. So you're lying. Nobody said that.
Just Black Americans. That's one. The second one is Black people in America may be genetically African, but so is the entire planet. Everybody.
So that's a misrepresentation of what I said when we were having a conversation, right? Because what I'm trying to do is compartmentalize, right? We're having a conversation. We can't conflate race, ethnicity, culture. We can't conflate all of these different categories in order to have a clear communication when we're having these conversations. In order for us to have a clear communication, we have to be precise and specific about what we're talking about. So when we're talking about culture and ethnicity, you can't be crowbarring race into it, because then it gets confusing, right? So I'm saying, yes, from a racial standpoint or from a genetic standpoint, yes, of course, we are African. But right now, we're talking about ethnicity. This is a separate conversation. When we're talking about foundational Black Americans, we're talking about an ethnic group. We're not saying we're an entirely different race. That's not what we're saying. Yes, we all part of the same race, but there are different, same way there are different tribes all throughout Africa, same way that there are different nations. We are our own tribe. We are our own nation. And that's all that we're saying. So that's a misrepresentation for him to bring up, well, yeah, genetically, everybody on the planet is African, which, you know, we know what people mean when they say African. We know they're talking about melanin people, you know what I'm saying? Melanated people when you're referring to Africans. But we say that to make the point that using the term African, just simply using the term African, isn't specific enough when we're having these conversations about reparations, when we're having these conversations about tangibles, when we're having these conversations about certain cultural accomplishments and things of that nature that should be attributed to our group specifically, certain policies that need to go to our group specifically. When we're having that conversation, it doesn't suffice to just say African or African American, because that's not specific enough. Those terms can apply to another conversation. We fit into those categories depending on what the conversation is, but based on the conversations that we're having, those terms are too loose, they're too broad. And so all we did was codify the term foundational Black Americans in order to get clarity and to be specific about who we're talking about. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's continue.
On Earth is African. That's two. The third one is African people on the continent don't refer to themselves as Africans. We're the only ones who call ourselves.
Many of them don't. Many of them don't. Let me stop sharing. Nah, because it's probably going to take me a minute to find that. I should have looked that up earlier. Damn it. Hold on. But in reality, many of them don't. Many people from the continent will probably refer to themselves as African third or fourth. That's not their go-to as far as identity. Most of them identify by their tribe first. They say I'm Yoruba. They say I'm Zulu. They say they're, all of these different tribes, Igbo and so on and so forth. Every melanated person isn't owed this debt. We're owed. They have CARICOM, right? We're not included in CARICOM, and we shouldn't be included in CARICOM, right? But hold on, I'm trying to see if I can find this one video. I know I have it on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Damn. Is there a way I could filter this? Let me see. How can I filter this? I want to just go to. Oh, yeah. I think I could do it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Bear with me. Damn. I don't want to waste too much time looking for that. But I got a video on my phone. This girl was from Kenya. I believe she was from Kenya, but she was living in Canada. And she was asked a question about how she felt coming to Canada. How did it make her feel being identified as a Black girl? And she was talking about how it was confusing for her. She doesn't see herself as a Black girl. She kept saying, such and such from such and such. I forgot what the name of her tribe was. She was saying her name and her tribe. That was her identity for the majority of her life. And she even explicitly said, I don't even like when they say we're African. Africa is a continent. It's not a country. It's an entire continent with 50-something different nations and a gazillion different tribes. We're not all the same. So to just call me African, that's not my identity. She was explicitly saying that. I believe she was from Kenya and she was living in Canada. I have the video on my phone, but it's taking too much time to try to pull it up. And there are many other videos out there like that. Y'all have seen the videos of these people telling us they're not Black and they're not African and being very specific about their identity. We've seen these videos. We've seen these videos where the girl will tell you her parents told her, even though we go into America, when you choose who you're going to marry, if you can, try to pick an Igbo. Try to find an Igbo man to marry. If you can't marry an Igbo man, then at least marry a Nigerian. If you can't find a nice Nigerian man to marry you, at least find another African man to marry you. This is the order. So try to find somebody in your same tribe. That's the ideal. You can't do that, at least keep it in the nation. At least marry another Nigerian. If you can't do that, keep it on the continent. So the continent is third. All right, you can't at least marry somebody from Ghana or Kenya or somewhere else. But if you can't find a good African man to marry you, get you a Caribbean man. That's next on the list. I've heard these things, right? And what comes after Caribbean? If you can't find somebody in the tribe, if you can't find another countryman, if you can't find another African, get you a Caribbean man. If you can't find you a Caribbean man, guess what's next? I want to see if y'all know. Put it in the chat. Ray is on point. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not making this shit up. This is what their parents tell them. If you can't find, after all of those, if you can't find any of those, get you a good white man. As a matter of fact, if you can get you a white man, skip all of that shit. If you can get you a white man, skip all of that bullshit I just told you. Look, everybody putting it in the chat. Get you a zaddy. Get you a white man. Get you a good old godly white man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is what their parents tell them. We at the bottom of the totem pole. It's don't bring home no akata. This is part of their culture. And so this is not a two-way thing. This is not a back and forth thing. This is not some diaspora war that's been taking place and we don't understand each other, right? That's not what's been happening here. This is completely one-sided. Our parents never told us no bullshit like that. Our parents never told us no bullshit like that. Not one of y'all in here whose mama or daddy is FBA told y'all don't bring home no African or no Caribbean. You never heard that in your life. We don't get down like that. Get you a white man and end up missing. Stuart said, I've witnessed that firsthand. I did too. I saw this in my personal life. Yes. Hold on. He said, I saw this in my personal life. Do you know how many African girls I've fucked, but they didn't give me a real chance? They know better. I know a brother who's married and got 2 kids with a foundational Black American sister. He's Nigerian, but he told me how he damn near got disowned from the family for doing that. He damn near got missed. It took the family a minute to warm up to the idea of that and accept it. I don't want them. I prefer my FBA sisters. I feel you. Nah, I did hear that. Bring home a Mayo girl though. Yeah. Especially your Black mama will tell you that in a minute. Don't come in with no white girl, boy. Yeah, we've heard that. So it's damn near the opposite of what they hear. That shit is not a part of our culture. Let me continue with this video right here. And I gotta piss. Damn, I gotta piss.
Those Africans. That's 3. And the 4th one is Black Americans are the only ones who practice Pan-Africanism.
Johnson, you're fired.
Oh.
Why? It's not you.
Hold on, I'm letting the commercial pass, y'all. My daughter's trying to call me too. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can skip it. All right, here we go. Let me unmute it. Yeah, unmute it.
Common kind of like retorts that we hear, and they always say, well, Baba James Smalls agrees with us. Like,
well, Baba James Smalls is going to tell him, I don't agree to none of that shit I just heard. Because none of it makes sense. And it alludes to the ignorance of not knowing your history. You know, it alludes to the fact that you don't realize that Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Nyeri were all at the Pan-African Conference in Manchester. And when they all walked away from that conference, they led some of the most fierce revolutions on the continent of Africa based on Pan-Africanism. That we got defeated in many sectors by the enemy at the ideological level. We won at the physical base ground level. We got our land back. We got political independence back. We're still fighting for economic, cultural, and intellectual independence.
All right, hold on a second, y'all. My sister just gave me a good idea. Damn, how do I do that though? Oh yeah, I know how to do it. Hold on. Cause I really gotta go to the bathroom, y'all. I'll be drinking like a gallon of water every day. So hold on a second. I'm gonna play a song for y'all off of the master's table. I'm gonna play a song for y'all, and I will be right back in a minute. Let me see. What song should I play? Damn. Hold on. I need to play something off the new album. Where the new album at? Hold on. All right. Hold on. Oh, this is a good song right here. Let's go with this. Let's go with
and
this.
I mean this shit with all due respect, dog. When we get to that war, when that war coming is us against them, my fucking
right back.
is gonna go. That's what my shit gonna ring out.
Yeah. Revenge of the Master Elements. Y'all. Africans, Caribbeans, essays, Asians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. This for the 10th class, not for the riders in the diaspora. No disrespect to you, but we gotta provide some order. I know they told you stay away from the Akata, but mama should've warned you not to play with the Akata. We them Yankee boys, and I'ma say that shit frankly, boy. My family built this fucking country, you should thank me, boy. This block me, tu me joda, la raza, keep that shit in your country and don't bring it to me, Gaza. All that colorism in these racial caste systems. All across Asia, the darkest ones be the victims. India, they untouchable. They mean that shit literal. But here on U.S. soil, we unfuckwittable. Exceptional people, respect to the Negro. Before you get your green card, we double checking your ego. That bulletproof glass in ARAP stores. Stop buying them cigarettes. We take that as war. They like to call us IBs and Jareds, but East Africa is in shambles. The hypocrisy's weird. Your economy's weird. Bankrupt, so you gotta flee here. We embrace you with open arms. That was obviously clear. We don't appreciate it. All that sucker shit is for leeches, ain't it? I think it's time that we get reacquainted. Foundational black Americans, we the ones that be moving culture. So sit your ass in the goofy corner. When we talk about reparations, it ain't up for debate. It's a blood debt owed to descendants for the enslavement. But you can call us freedmen for legislation. Just like I compensated Asians with no hesitation. But permanent underclass is our designation. We can't accept replacement in the country we created. Which brings me to all these neo-Nazi Ukrainians. We are not them docile Africans y'all be playing with. Nah, these niggas feel different. They wonder how we still kicking after centuries of being in the fields picking cotton and indigo. Shout out to the Seminoles and Gullah Geechees. And what that reparations hitting for. And if you didn't vote, I fuck with you, nigga. Cause if it's up, then it's up. So be comfortable, nigga. And if you didn't vote, I fuck with you, nigga. Cause if it's up, then it's up. So be comfortable, nigga. Africans, Caribbeans, Essays, Asians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, Native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. Let's keep it a buck. Can we keep it a milli? Can we keep it a milli? Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Y'all better go get that. Master's Table album is available right now, family. All y'all got to do is hit up the mastersrsvp.com and place your order today. You know what I'm saying? You can get the Masters hoodie with it. You can get the posters with it. You get the physical CD copies and the digital downloads. Go to the website, cop that joint today. So let's continue with the video, shall we? Hold on, let me take the banner off. Let me take the banner off. Now, hopefully no commercial don't pop up again. Hold on, let me check. Let me make sure there ain't no commercial gonna pop up again. All right. And bring it back just a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's continue. Appreciate y'all patience.
Cultural and intellectual independence from these people. We got our land back. We on the continent of Africa based on Pan-Africanism. That we got defeated in Manchester, and when they all walked away from that conference, they led some of the most fierce revolutions on the continent of Africa based on Pan-Africanism. That we got defeated in many sectors by the enemy at the ideological level. We won at the physical base ground level. We got our land back. We got political independence back. We're still fighting for economic, cultural, and intellectual independence from these people. What is so sad, and normally if you ever see me lecture, I got one or two books. Whatever subject I'm talking about, I got a book, because y'all need to read, you know, because if you don't know history, how are you going to lead anybody politically? That's the sad part about many of the young people. They don't know history. This thing, I'm from South Carolina. I'm from a population that was here in this country before the Mongolians came to this country, an African population. I know who they are. I grew up attending their grave, the monks where they bury themselves, because our grandfather made sure we cleaned them every year. I'm also from a population that came in later on with chains on them from Sierra Leone and with chains on them from Uganda. And I know them. These are my great-great-grandparents. I'm only the fourth generation born. Mama first, then second. I'm the third generation African born in this country. From those Sierra Leone and Mendi people I'm from those Tutsi people I'm from in Uganda.
And so I wish the screen wasn't janky like this, because I really want y'all to see like the body language of Omowale, because as Professor Smalls is saying this, he's he's getting, he's getting swolled up. He's shaking his head. He's shaking his head in agreement profusely and sitting up like, yeah. Tell him, James Smalls. Right? But the thing about it is everything Baba is saying right here, I just got done saying a few minutes ago. I've been saying this. None of us have a problem with what he's saying right here. If you talk to somebody like Marcel Dixon, who is what is he, a Gullah or a Geechee? He's from one of those. Either he's from Gullah or Geechee, one of those. But he'll tell you that, his ancestors are from Angola. We know we African. Nobody's denying that. We're having a different conversation, though, when it comes to culture and ethnicity, right? We became something different throughout the Ma'afa. That's undeniable. Professor James Small doesn't deny that either. He's a Gullah. Okay, I know it was one of them. Oh, yeah, you're right. Omowale and girls' facial expressions told the whole story. Yeah, they was like, yeah, we got the Baba on our side type shit now. And it was like, come on, dude. Like, this was corny, really, what you did. This was corny what you did. When the hate don't work, they start telling lies. When the hate don't work, they start telling lies.
And I've been out and found my family. So, and for those people who had come by the boats into the Bahamas, into what is Haiti, and made it up through Florida to North America, the same, you understand? The Malian people who came in, but understand where their brains are when they say, I'm not an African. And all this tells me that self-hate, self-ignorance, lack of understanding of African history and of history in general are what we are dealing with people who have taken some, what do you call it, clips?
Yeah.
Sound bites. He's talking about the sound bite scholars and the YouTube scholars, which is how Omowale goes about trying to frame and describe people like me, right? We're the people that don't read. We're the people that don't. We saw Hidden Colors. We started following Tariq Nasheed, and we just repeat everything that he said. You know what I'm saying? But speaking for myself, anybody that know me, my mama ain't in here, Mama Love. You ain't in the building. Usually Mama Love is up in this joint. My moms could vouch for me. My moms could vouch for me if she was in here right now. She'll tell y'all I had knowledge of self since I was like 11 years old. I was like 10, 11 years old when I first told my moms, I don't eat pork no more. We ain't on that like that, Mom. You know what I'm saying? My moms used to I was the kid when you hear Mom, let them know, Mom. I ain't getting knowledge of self when the internet came about. I ain't one of these YouTube niggas that just got woke a couple of minutes ago from watching some YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? My mom, I was the kid when we went to family cookouts and barbecues and all that. My mom had to give a disclaimer for me. Hey, this one over here, he don't eat no pork, y'all. This one over here, you got any vegetarian beans over there? That was me. I was that kid. You know what I'm saying? I got mixtapes from the early 2000s and the late 90s and all that. You could hear my lyrics back then where I was talking about the master teachers and the scholars and all of that. I'm not new to this. You know what I'm saying? But that's how Omowale tries to frame everything. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the scholar and we all just some dumb niggas that's following Tariq. You know what I'm saying? Far from the case. Far from the case. Y'all say peace to my mama. That's my mama right there. He has always known who he is from very young. Let it be known. Please let it be known. And so, yeah, Baba is responding this way because of the way that Omowale phrased the question, right? He's responding to the lie. So his response is correct and it's appropriate. If that's what we were saying, we deserve that tongue lashing. But that ain't what we saying. That ain't what we on. None of us who are really about this life, who are really in these circles. Like I said, you got some clowns out there that are saying some stuff like that, but you're not even naming none of them. The people that you calling out by name, none of them is on that. Myself included. Myself included. Let me let Bob.
And political leaders, because they can get a bunch of people to, when you push the little button for them,
subscribe. Yeah, yeah.
And that's insanity. That's why you see me out here, because I didn't do a lot of stuff on the internet. Or brother says snippets. I like that even better. Okay, snippets. Because I was very quiet for a while. And then I go like, I can't stay quiet. So in the last year and a half, I've just been out here trying to teach as much as I can. And everything has to go back to the history. Yes, we were the first. We're the Aborigine everywhere in the world. Hell, we're the Aborigine in Europe. We're the Aborigine in China.
Giving your body what
I had a feeling that was going to happen too. Hold on. And look, I said that in one of my rhymes too. Africa is the throne, but planet Earth is our home. We indigenous to the globe, let it be known. We've been saying that. Baba ain't saying nothing wrong. Everything that he's saying is still in alignment. So you acting like you came with some type of gotcha moment by doing this corny shit that you did. You act like you came with some type of gotcha moment. No, you made yourself look corny, dude. You made yourself look corny, dude. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, but now I see you on some bullshit. This is something else. This ain't about just no misunderstanding or anything like that. What you doing is intentional, it's deceptive, it's grimy, and it's corny. And what it all boils down to is trying to get some attention for yourself because you feel like you should have the influence that you see other people having. You feel like all these people that are listening to Tariq Nasheed should be listening to you because you the master teacher. You the one that went to college and read all the books and did all this stuff. Tariq Nasheed is a high school dropout. And you mad that you don't have the influence that he has. The thing about it is, brother, this. Elijah Muhammad said it the best. You never have to condemn a dirty glass. All you got to do is sit a clean one next to it. So if the work that we're doing, if the rhetoric, so-called rhetoric, and the information that we're pushing isn't right and exact, and it's non-constructive, then all you need to do is push your narrative and do what you feel is going to be constructive, and your movement should resonate more with the people unless you think lowly of the people. Unless you think lowly of the people that your information is too above our heads or something. Your information that you got is just too above our heads. We can't absorb it. You know what I'm saying? Who sent him? He's a failure. What has he mastered? I don't know, man. I haven't been tapped in with the brother that long, to be honest. Omowale simply wants to make the same money Leonard Jeffries and Oba Shaka made in the 80s. That's part of what it's about, too. I said that, too, the other day. It's an economic thing for a lot of these guys because the Pan-African energy is their bread and butter. This is how they sell their books and their courses and, you know, whatever else it may be. You know what I'm saying? Merchandise and things of that nature based on the concept of Pan-Africanism. And so with the FBA movement picking up all this steam and people not really jacking the Pan-African thing like that because at this point it's impractical. We see it as being what it is, a one-sided thing that's impractical. And now the water's running dry. That book you've been working on since you graduated college, that's not going to be a bestseller. It's not going to be a bestseller out here. He's on Tariq Nasheed hate train, and by proxy, the new black media, you included. Clout is a terrible drug. Facts, Maxwell. Facts, Maxwell. Facts. Let me play some more of this video.
Make us non-Africa because everybody that walked on the planet Earth walked out of Africa, yes.
Hold on. Everybody that walked on the planet Earth walked out of Africa. Ain't that what I said? The whole planet is African. That's not specific enough. Ain't that what I said? Okay.
But the people who we're talking about, those who are not the mutants, people want to go there, let's go there. You're going to tell me that something got trapped in the ice, mutated, and then decide to declare war on nature, on God itself. And the war is against me and you, the African, because they see us as the epitome of the authenticity of the divinity itself. We got to know what we really up against.
Mm-hmm. Let me finish the line that I said. Because everything that he dropping, I've been on that. Africa is the throne, but planet Earth is our home. We indigenous to the globe, let it be known. These are hidden colors. Free my sisters and brothers. Let them know that they stars just like we're sitting above us. Everything that he's saying, I already wrote it in a rhyme somewhere. I'm not saying he got it from me. I got it from him and others. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, when you listen to my lyrics, all I'm doing is I'm translating the lessons that I learned from the master teachers. As the master student, I use my talent and my skill set to deliver the same messages that I learned. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I ain't making nothing up. I learned from the master teachers. All I'm doing is conveying it the best way that I know how. That's why it's not a coincidence that he's saying everything that I've already said.
They don't have a clue, most of the young people who are using these labels, partially because they feel hurt and rejected by their own people who feel hurt and rejected by them. You, the brothers and sisters who come from the continent of Africa, they look at, well, we have not reached out to help them. We have no welcoming wagon for them. So if the enemy takes them and give them counseling and guidance and jobs and stuff, we gonna blame the hungry man?
Now this part right here, I'm going to have to, and I think this is really the only part, where I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with Baba. And I believe if he was allowed to elaborate and follow up on this, he would kind of clarify what he was saying right there. Because again, he's addressing a false narrative that was put out there. He's responding to a false narrative that was put out there. And so I understand what he's saying right there, but I have to push back on that part right there specifically when he says, he's saying, you know, some of us may be upset because we feel rejected by our African brothers and sisters, being that they don't look at us like their brothers and sisters, even though we've looked at them as our brothers and sisters. The energy hasn't been reciprocated. It's been completely one-sided. And now we're angry at them and we're bitter at them, but he's giving them the excuse or the cause. He's saying the cause for their ignorance or the cause for their disposition is because, look, they coming from this war-torn, poor country and coming over here, getting opportunities that we didn't give them. We didn't lay out the welcome mat for them. The white people did it. The enemy did it. Right? And so, of course, they're going to have this disposition where they looking at us funny style like, shit, the white people is the one that brought us up. That's incorrect. I'm going to have to push back on that because that's incorrect. The only reason that the Black Africans and Caribbeans are allowed to come to this country, the only reason that they're able to take advantage of the opportunities that this country has to offer is because of foundational Black Americans. We did roll out the red carpet for them. It was Booker T. Washington in the early 1900s who pushed back against this government and said, nah, y'all bringing over here all these other European immigrants over here. Y'all going to have to let some of our brothers and sisters come through too. After they got finished working on the Panama Canal and all of that stuff down there, the reason why Garvey was able to come over here is because people like Booker T. Washington said, nah, y'all got to let our brothers come over here too. Right? During the civil rights movement in the 60s and the 50s and 60s and all of that, it was foundational Black American freedom fighters who were pushing back against this government saying, nah, y'all going to have to let some of our African and Caribbean brothers, sisters come over here too. Y'all not going to just open up the floodgates for all these Europeans. We even fought for the Asians, not even just the Africans and the Caribbeans. Even the Asians wouldn't be allowed to come over here if it wasn't for us. We stood up for everybody. Ability to come over here and take advantage of the opportunities that we created. All of the wealth and opportunities were built off of our labor. We did roll out the red carpet for them. So I got to disagree respectfully with our elder on that particular point right there. We are the ones that rolled the red carpet out for them. If not, they would have no place to flee to. If we didn't do what we did, if our ancestors didn't do what they did, on their behalf, there would be no place for them to flee to. It would still be Jim Crow over here. All right, so I have to disagree on that particular part right there. And I think in a few minutes, even he's going to contradict what he just said. Let me rewind it and play it again, what he just said, so we could be clear. I'm going to bring it back a little bit and play what he just said about us feeling some type of way towards them and the reason why they feel some type of way towards us.
Who feel hurt and rejected by them. You, the brothers and sisters who come from the continent of Africa, they look at, but we have not reached out to help them. We have no welcoming wagon for them. So if the enemy takes them and give them counseling and guidance and jobs and stuff, we gonna blame the hungry man? Or should we blame ourselves because we weren't the one there to say, welcome, brothers and sisters. Here's how we're going to get you a job. Here's how we're going to find you a place to live. Here's how we're going to help you get your children in school. Here's how we're going to get you on your feet and get started. Well, we left that to the enemy. And now we mad with our brothers and sisters because they didn't stay there and died and starved to death. No, we have to get our brains straight. We have to understand what being an African means, you know.
So y'all got that, right? I want y'all to put a sticky note right there. I want y'all to put a sticky note right there because as he continues to build, I believe he contradicts those statements a little bit. So let's carry on.
The melanin is essential to our Africanization because we are the universe itself, yes. But being an African means the thing we describe as God, that's what being an African means. Mm. That thing we call the divinity, that's the character of the African itself. That's our culture. And people are afraid because that means you got to change your little black behind into something better than what the white man has created you to be. You're going to give me the white slop and then give it a name like Foundation of Black America. Don't label me with slop. Now, you use that because you're trying to find an help you with that. Because you deserve to have your own identity like everybody.
Yes.
But don't bring the same white slop along saying you're anti-African, you are not African, you're not from Africa. That's the white slop that they've been trying to push in our brain from day one.
And so again, none of us are anti-African. None of us real ones that are part of this movement are anti-African. We are anti-tether. Okay? A tether is an op. Everybody should be anti-op. Okay? We're anti-tether. So I don't have a problem with what he's saying right there. He's right in his act. If you're gonna use like somebody like I described earlier with some of them Secure the Tribe people was doing, using FBA to bring what he described as the slop along with it. Yeah, that ain't cool. A lot of them were doing that, and that shit ain't cool. And we were calling them out about that shit. We don't co-sign that shit at all. Using FBA to get on some anti-just African shit, period. Like we don't fuck with no Africans, no Caribbeans, period. Whether they're coon, whether they on code or not, don't matter. A lot those clowns that was on that bullshit, we've been calling them out. We don't co-sign that. We don't co-sign that. We rock with the riders no matter where they're from. We've been saying that.
Throw that slop out, empty and wash your bucket, and let us bring some real black stuff up in there. Let's talk about Martin Delaney. Let's talk about Booker Washington. Let's talk about Ida B. Wells. Let's talk about Harriet Tubman. Let's talk about Sojourner Truth. Go back in our history. Every organization that we formed from the 1700s forward was called the African something. All
right, so this is it right here. To me, this is where the contradiction begins at, right? Because he was saying that basically, you know, when they started to come over here, they were fleeing from their homeland because it was desolate, you know, or whatever was going on over there. They had to flee to come over here to get a better life. And we weren't welcoming. We didn't embrace them. That's what he said a little while ago. But now he's saying, which is true, every organization that we formed had the word African in it. We've always raised up the name of Africa. We're the reason why Africa has any type of glory to it, any type of clout to it. We've been more waving the African thing more than Africans themselves. We made the shit fly to be black and proud, to be African. We were putting on the dashikis and making that shit fly and all of that. They was trying to get out of them damn dashikis and put on a suit and tie and assimilate into Western culture as much as they could. Coming over here, changing their kids' names to little European names, getting rid of their African names. Meanwhile, we trying to make up African names over here. Shaquana and Shaquan and all them names that we give our babies. You know how we name our babies. We was trying to be as African as possible. They was trying to get away from their Africanness. We made the shit fly.
Forward was called the African something. Every damn one. Prince Saul.
African Masons.
Free African Lodge. 1749 or someplace up there. Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, the African Methodist Church.
These are all foundational Black Americans. These are all foundational Black American organizations who are raising up the name of Africa.
The Black Baptist movement, the African Baptist Church. This is all back in the 1700s, okay? By the time we hit the 1792, Malcolm didn't invite the Afro-American nothing. In 1892, a group of Black women out of Rochester, New York, formed the Afro-American League, headed by T. Thomas Fortune. Okay, we had the United African Societies. This is all in the 1800s. So they need to study some history.
Yeah.
Right. So we've been on that. We've been on that. Right. So to me, you should feel embraced. If you're an African immigrant coming over here and you see a group of Black people over here with all these different organizations calling themselves African, you should feel embraced. But the reason why you don't feel embraced because you don't want to be African. You don't call yourself African. You trying to assimilate into Western culture as much as possible. You ain't trying to ruffle no feathers. You ain't trying to make no noise. That's the reason why y'all say stay away from the Akata. Y'all don't say stay away from the Akata for them bullshit reasons that y'all make up with. Oh, they drug dealers, they baby mamas, they sag their pants. It ain't for none of those reasons. It's because y'all know we ruffle feathers and we shake shit up. We stand up for justice. Y'all ain't about that life. That's the reason why you tell your kids stay away from the Akatas, because you ain't trying to get deported. Let's keep it a million.
Identifying ourselves as African. Not one moment, not one day, not 1 hour.
Shit. Man. Omowale trying to get paid off of this video, huh? I ain't mad at you, Omowale. Get your money. Let me skip this commercial. Hold on. I think this whole commercial got to play through. Hold on a second. Y'all hit the like button. Share this out. Share this out. We're going to finish up this video. Hold on. We're going to share it. We're going to finish up this video. It's almost over.
Hour. You know? And so I understand the hurt that some of them feel, but a lot of this hurt is out of the ignorance. Our brothers and sisters from the continent is being murdered and killed by the same cat on Wall Street that's murdering and killing us.
Yes.
But they don't got no smoke for the cat on Wall Street, dog. They don't got no smoke for them for the most part as a group. Maybe a few individuals here and there. Like I said, we know they got some riders. But as part of their culture, they're not trying to ride against them Wall Street cats, though. All right? They're trying to be accepted. They're trying to get a pat on the head. Let's keep it a milli. That's the difference.
They're just doing it long distance or got some surrogates. They have impoverished them just as they have impoverished us. All the Europeans and others stepping off of a boat every day as immigrants, you got no issue with them?
Yes, we do. Yes, in fact, we do, Baba James Smalls. In fact, we do. When this whole conversation started about, I forgot when it was. But really, we could take it back to when Secure the Tribe had that big 30K Twitter space. 30,000 people was in the Twitter space because Tariq Nasheed came up in there. Let's keep it a buck, right? From that time, the conversation, the title of the space was, "How does immigration benefit foundational Black Americans?" or something like that was the title. It wasn't about Africans. It wasn't about Caribbeans. It was about immigration as a whole. So he just asked the question, what about all these immigrants coming from Europe and all these other places, stepping off a boat, eating off of the resources that are here? You ain't got no smoke for them? That was the question Baba Smalls just asked. That's what this whole thing started from. We was talking about how immigration is negatively affecting, having an adverse negative effect on foundational Black society. That's what the conversation was about. It wasn't about Africans. It wasn't about Caribbeans. It was the Africans and the Caribbeans that came in there and centered themselves and made it about them. And then they made a gazillion rooms talking shit about foundational Black Americans, and all we did was respond. All we did was respond because these were the tethers. This was the tether class who got triggered. We were having a conversation about immigration overall, not Black immigration, immigration in general. That's what the title and that's what the conversation was about. But the tether class from the African diaspora got triggered and they centered themselves. And all we did was respond. Are we not supposed to respond? We don't have to sit around. We're not obligated to sit around and take disrespect. Everybody, that's not everybody's lane. Some people might choose to ignore it and just keep it moving and do what you do. That's fine. Some of us got time. Some of us have a petty gene. You know what I'm saying? Tariq Nasheed is a very petty dude. So you might not dig his personality or how he get down sometimes, some of the language that he might use, the way he clown people and all that. That might not be your style. That might rub you the wrong way a little bit. But that don't got nothing to do with the overall message of what we're talking about as far as foundational Black Americans is concerned. That just means you don't like that man's personality. That's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to. Do your own thing. Find somebody that you do resonate with, or you create your own content and you build your own community around your voice. You don't got to sit around and listen to Tariq Nasheed if you don't like him, but you don't got to attack the man. For what? Trying to get justice?
But you got an issue with your brother and sister who's trying to survive and come and wake and make a little bit of money and send back home to keep his mama medical bills paid and to send his little brother and sister to school somewhere. Yes, there's a problem. He doesn't know you and you don't know him. So then that should be what our work should be about.
And again, man, foundational Black Americans, we have done the most and we don't owe nobody nothing. Okay? Like I said, we was the ones over here with the dashikis and the African medallions and all of this stuff, making it fly to be African. We was the ones that created the Free South Africa movement. It was foundational Black American artists like Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and all these people who made We Are the World to create some type of fund to help brothers and sisters in Africa. Right? It was our family members who was donating parts of their check and parts of their income, thinking that they were helping people over in Africa with certain charity funds and all of that. It was foundational Black Americans in Harlem who volunteered and were lining up by the hundreds to volunteer to go over to Ethiopia to fight against Mussolini and them when they were trying to invade Ethiopia. It was Black Americans who volunteered against the will of the government. The government wasn't trying to get involved with that at all. It was Black Americans on the streets of New York who said, nah, those are brothers. We ain't trying to just sit back and watch that go down like that. We've done the most. We don't owe nobody nothing. None of that energy has been returned. Yeah, you can point to a few Pan-Africans here and there from the continent. You can point to the Kwame Nkrumahs or the Patrice Lumumbas and Steve Biko and, you know, certain individuals here and there. Winnie Mandela. Shout out to Winnie Mandela. You know what I'm saying? Even now, shout out to Julius Malema. You know what I'm saying? Certain people, yeah, there's some individuals over there and there's some little organizations and pockets over there. But as a whole, as a group, if it was like that, we would have been had it popping. If it was like that, we would have been had it popping. It's a gazillion Negroes over there. If they was rocking with us like that, it would have been some type of real coalition that was taking place. We would have been had contacts on the continent where we could do business back and forth, where we could touch down and be good. It ain't going down like that, man. We get insulted. We get insulted. They got something to say about Erykah Badu dressing the way she dressed, wearing the head wrap and all that. Oh, look at the Sakata girl. That's not African culture and blah, blah, blah. You appropriating African culture. We trying to represent the motherland, and they saying we doing cultural appropriation. When Beyonce came out with her Afrobeat sounds and all of that, oh, you're not the queen of Africa. What are you doing, Akata girl? Get out of here with all that. All right? Ari Lennox goes over there and talks about how she felt the ancestors. She felt the spirit of the ancestors and all that. They was clowning her for that. Meek Mill was over there recently, got his pocket picked and all that. People trying to extort him everywhere he go and shit. Come on, let's keep it a milli. The energy has never been reciprocated. The energy has never been reciprocated. If I'm lying, I'm flying, man. Tell me where's the lie, Omowale. Tell me where's the lie, Negro. Some of these questions about your hairline might be valid, brother. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, but some of these questions about your hairline might be valid, brother.
Yeah.
And we're about to reach out to one another, grab each other, figure out how to educate one another, you know, and we can criticize each other, but let the criticism be about love and unity, not the criticism be about destruction and death of our own people.
Yeah, they're not here to usurp us. They're not this notion that everything that happens bad in Black America is a non-FBA person doing, or they're here to steal resources and
crap.
That's another lie. Let me let Baba respond.
Oh, folks, who was selling the dope down on the corner? Who was the hip hopper with the pants up the behind? Who was Jacqueline? Listen, I have not. Let me tell my brother something.
Let me bring that back.
Who was Jacqueline? Listen, oh, folks, who was selling the dope down on the
bus? They're not this notion that everything that happens bad in Black America is a non-FBA.
That's a lie. Nobody ever said everything that happens bad in Black America is a non-FBA person. But what we are gonna do, is when shit do go down, janky shit do go down, we are gonna ask questions about who's who, because we're not going to absorb all of the trash. That's what we're not going to do. So we are going to start asking questions about people's background when we start seeing janky behavior in Black society. We are going to start taking tabs and aggregating the data to see who's who and what's what. Because every time some bullshit happens in Black society, it gets attributed to foundational Black Americans. Baba James Smalls just proved that with his response. Immediately, Baba James Smalls said, well, who was selling the dope down there on the corner? So the dope dealer on the corner is automatically associated with foundational Black Americans. But many of the dope dealers on the corner are non-FBA. Now, look, I was a dope dealer on the corner. I'm foundational Black American. I'm not saying foundational Black Americans haven't been involved in any type of criminal activity or degenerate behavior or anything like that. We absolutely have. We absolutely got our own garbage and our own mess that we need to clean up in foundational Black American society. Again, I was a dope boy on the corner, but guess where my plug was from, though? Guess who the plug was, though? Guess who the plug was, though? I couldn't go get no weight from another foundational Black American in New York. We had to go see the Dominicans. Black ass Dominicans. We had to go see the Colombians, black ass Colombians, right? These are non-FBAs who are bringing the drugs over here in the first place. These cartels, these Mexican cartels. How does the dope get here in the first place? I know you know and understand this, Elder Professor James Smalls. I know you know and understand this. Again, this ain't no disrespect or no shots at the professor, but I'm just saying, let's be clear. Let's be clear. When you talk about the hip hoppers with their pants sagging off their ass, if we look at the hip hop charts right now, damn near 8 out of 10 of them niggas is non-FBA. Damn near 8 out of 10 of the rappers that you're talking about are non-FBA, but all of the negativity that's associated with them gets dumped on foundational black society. And so that's the reason why we're differentiating. Hold on, that nigga from Jamaica, that nigga is Dominican. This nigga is from Africa. That garbage don't belong to us. Y'all gonna have to take that garbage with y'all, because when you win the Grammy, they're gonna say first African, Nigerian, so-and-so, Caribbean, such and such. When y'all win y'all awards and y'all do something fly and prestigious, or you do some type of something noble, you know what I'm saying? Some type of donation or some charity, or you build a school or anything like that, the credit is going to go to your homeland. It's going to go to your culture. But when you lean in the interview and scratching all over your body and shit, that just gets associated with foundational black Americans. We can't have that. We got to clean that up. We got to clean that up. That's another layer to this onion. A lot of nonsense stems from the black market too. That's probably where ADOS and black immigrants always try to find some middle ground. What you mean by that? Elaborate on that one, Ray. Elaborate on that one. But yeah, let's not forget, where's all this opium coming from? Black people don't own none of these ships. How are a lot of these guns getting into the community? Let's not just pick the low-hanging fruit. We got to go to the root. We're not going to just pick the low-hanging fruit. We got to go to the roots. Let's be clear. Yeah, we got our dirt that needs to be cleaned up, and we cleaning it up. That's the purpose of some of this. So we can start cleaning up our mess. But first we gotta start, sorting things out, compartmentalizing things. Okay, that's not our mess right there. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That's cool. Let them take care of that over there. You one of us, get over here, knucklehead. Get over here. Cut that bullshit out, man. We don't do that. That's not part of our culture, my nigga. Cut that bullshit out. We don't do that. That's what we doing. It's cleanup time. It's cleanup time. And so let us cook. Let us cook. It ain't gonna get cleaned up overnight, but let us cook. Let us do what we do. But we're not going to take y'all garbage too. We got enough garbage to clean up. We're not going to take y'all garbage also. Y'all got to hold your own nuts. Sorry. We've been dragging y'all along this far. Now you got to take it from here.
Person doing, or they're here to steal resources and
crap. I always tell folks, who was selling the dope down on the corner? Who was the hip hopper with the pants up the behind? Who was Jack? Listen, I have not, and let me tell my brothers something so they get it real clear. No disrespect, my sister, because you standing here, right? But 95% of our black women is molested and raped by black men right here in African America before they're 15 friggin' years old. So you got some shit to deal with. And so you better deal with looking in the mirror and see what you're calling a black man as a white man in blackface. Now, if you want to get to being a black man, you got to study the history of your African self. And you got to look at the work of those who have gone before you. And you can't belittle a Fannie Lou.
Another reason why I wish it wasn't like this, so y'all could read the comments. Some of the comments that he was putting on the screen, some of the people were saying, but Baba, this is what Tariq Nasheed's whole platform is about. So this is all about trying to draw a division between Professor James Smalls and Tariq Nasheed. Which that's not going to happen. You already know Professor J. Small is a real one. And he ain't saying nothing on this broadcast that he wouldn't say directly to Tariq Nasheed, and they'll handle their business as men. You know what I'm saying? They'll clear up what needs to be cleared up as men. I'm not even worried about that happening, but I'm just saying that's what the intentions of this was, to try to draw that division. Epic fail.
Hamer by just calling her name and not seeing the work that Fannie Lou Hamer was doing. You can't talk about Malcolm X and not seeing the transformation that Malcolm went through. The point of Malcolm's life was to say, I brought myself through knowledge of self from the garbage can and the trash of white supremacy to an African man. The last name he took for himself is Omowale, the child who returned home.
Yes, sir.
Not Malik. Okay? So we need to study history. And let me be clear, my FDA brothers and sisters, I love them. I am not going to abandon them. I am going to teach them. And I am going to work to get them to see. Because the ones I've met, these are not young people who hate Africa. They just don't friggin' know.
They don't know what they don't know.
When I spoke in D.C. and I talked about I'm an African, I'm an American, I named all the labels we can use, but at the end of that label, I'm an African, they cheered.
Now, that right there was really when your whole broadcast backfired on you, Omowale. That statement right there proved you to be a liar. What's going on, Adu? Shout out to my brother Adu in the chat. That statement right there made you out to be a liar, Omowale, because your whole narrative is that foundational Black Americans are anti-African. But he said when he was at the Foundational Black American rally for reparations, when he said he was an African, the crowd cheered. So if we're a bunch of anti-Africans, why are we cheering about him saying he's still an African? Even though he representing for FBA, getting their reparations, he stood in solidarity with Foundational Black Americans for our justice claim. But he was still saying at the end of the day, this is not an abandonment of my Africanness. And the crowd cheered because we respect that. We feel the same way. We just understand that this coalition, just like the Black and Brown coalition, just like the Black and Brown coalition is not practical because it's one-sided. They don't rock with us the way we rock with them. We understand that as a group, people in the diaspora don't rock with Foundational Black Americans the way that we have rocked with them. So it's not practical anymore. We have to get our own stuff together, and that's all we're doing. It's not anti-anything. It's not anti-nobody. And so the crowd cheered, and that made you out to be a liar and a bozo. You a bozo for trying to do that.
Can use, but at the end of that label, I'm an African, they cheered. It's just that nobody's explaining it to them. Nobody's showing them how to link it up.
Baba, let me make,
because those in the leadership don't know how to do it.
Well, a part of that is that there's this plausible deniability. They're saying that there is no leadership.
And so that's another lie and a misrepresentation. That's another misrepresentation of what's being said. When y'all try to say Tariq Nasheed is the leader of FBA, the reason why we push back on that is because y'all are trying to say Foundational Black American FBA is some type of organization and Tariq Nasheed is the leader. That's not the same thing as somebody being like a thought leader or influencer. Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, Jason Black, Vicky Diller, people like that, they are absolutely thought leaders and influencers. No denying that. But what y'all are trying to say is that they're leaders of some type of organization, which there is no organization. I'm not a part of any organization. When we talk about FBA, we are referring to an ethnic group, right? So nobody can be a leader of an ethnic group. So that's the pushback that you get from the leadership thing. And you know that. You know what you're saying is a lie, a misrepresentation. It's not about no plausible deniability. It's the truth. There is no organization that anybody's the leader of. That's the truth. But when you talk about leadership as far as having influence and leadership qualities and being a thought leader and all of that, yeah, there's plenty of leaders in Black society. There's plenty of leaders in Black society. I'm a leader to a certain degree, but I'm not the leader of any organization. There's no meetings taking place. There's no headquarters. There's no chapters and ranks and files and all of that shit. There's none of that I'm a part of anyway, and that I know anybody that's a part of. Listen, there's trademarks for Nigeria and Naira and things like that, because people make clothing or some type of merchandise based on their culture. That doesn't make it an organization. They're trademarking it because they want to make some money. And they don't want nobody else to be able to use it. They got an idea to capitalize off their own culture, what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to capitalize off your own culture. Everybody makes money off of black people's culture. What's wrong when black people make money off their own culture? And so part of doing business is trademarking, copywriting, things of that nature. That's part of doing business. You know what I'm saying? I Have a Dream is trademarked, right? Juneteenth is trademarked by somebody who's not even black, by the way. It's a white man that has the trademark for Juneteenth. That's why you're going to see Juneteenth all over cereal boxes and ice cream and everything else, because a white man owns the trademark to that, capitalizing off of our culture. And so when a black man gets a trademark to capitalize off his own culture, why not? He came up with the term. He's the one that codified the term, FBA. He's a businessman. He's an influencer and a thought leader. He knows how to make money off of products and services. So why not get a trademark for something that it was born in his mind? It was built off of a foundation that was already laid by Dr. Claude Anderson. But the foundational Black American term itself was born in the mind of Tariq Nasheed. So what's wrong with him getting a trademark and selling some t-shirts and shit? Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's for merchandise, exactly. It's not trademarking the ethnicity. It's trademarking for the purpose of merchandising. Nothing wrong with making money. Let's stop talking down about money. Let's stop talking down about money. We all should be trying to get money. And there's nothing wrong with making money off of your culture. You're supposed to. If you go into anybody else's community, whether you're here in America or whether you go abroad and overseas, people are making money off of their culture. They charge you to participate in their culture. If you go to an Indian reservation, you're going to have to pay money to go and have that experience. If you go into Chinatown or something like that, these people, they're using their own signs and symbols and all of that stuff, making money off of their own culture. Everybody does that. We're supposed to do the same thing. And we're supposed to gatekeep it and not allow other people to capitalize off it unless it's a fair and equal exchange. You know what I'm saying? My brother Adu gets the concept. I had on his hoodie the other day. He's using kente cloth. That's like his signature thing. He puts the kente cloth on all his gear. His family is from Ghana. He's capitalizing off of his own culture. Nothing wrong with that. He's using his own name, his last name, which is part of his culture. That's a tribal name, Adu. So he's using his culture to create a business and make money. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're supposed to do.
And I think that's
yeah, they don't understand what influence is. A leadership is someone who can influence your thoughts, and that then influence your actions.
And there is someone influencing their thoughts and their actions, but he's saying that he's not their leader. But Baba, really quick, because I want all.
See that bullshit? Y'all see that bullshit? Y'all see that bullshit? Rosa Parks, right? Rosa Parks sued Outkast for naming their song Rosa Parks. She filed a lawsuit against Outkast when they came out with that song called Rosa Parks. Right. It's business. It's just business. Well, hold on. Hold on. I think I want to cook some more. Because Omowale, when we were having our conversation too, another thing that he said, which was very weird. And so now I'm starting to look at this dude like a just straight up liar. Because he said something else that was very weird, which was he had called Dr. Anderson an integrationist. He said he was talking about, y'all talking about delineating. Was he said delineating? No, he said y'all talking about lineage, but what you need to get into is the lineage of your school of thought or something like that. What's the lineage of your school of thought? Let's trace that lineage back. And so, we hold Dr. Anderson in a high regard. And so he was saying the two trains of thought have been in Black society have been integrationist versus nationalist. And he was saying Dr. Claude Anderson is an integrationist. Her name, her likeness, what y'all talking about? Well, I don't think the motivation was money. I don't know what y'all talking about in the chat. But yeah, he said Dr. Anderson was an integrationist. What does Dr. Anderson say about integration?
I was involved in establishing an approval.
This is a prism.
I was involved in establishing an approval for the 1954 desegregation decision. And that wasn't a positive thing for Black folk. That was a negative. That whole thing was gifted and talented to make sure you stayed locked in box. It was not Black folk weren't concerned about social integration. White folks conjured that up to make sure Black folks never got anything in the society. And what Black folk were upset about, what we want is equal access and control of the resources going into schools. We want our share of the resources. We weren't against Black schools. All that anti-Blackness came out of NAACP, Executive Committee, which is made up of Jewish lawyers, white lawyers. They conjured that up and says, let's change your interest from what you're looking for. Let's call it you want desegregation, which means you want to have the same amount of resources that whites have. And I guess in my elementary school, our school was something like about 3 or 4 miles just to get to school in the snow and rain. That we would have loved to have had buses to take us to school. And I was involved in establishing an approval for the.
So do that sound like an integrationist to y'all?
Being expressed by some of our brothers and sisters. The first one.
Do that sound like an integrationist to y'all? He said Dr. Anderson was an integrationist. Hold on. He said Dr. Anderson was an integrationist, but a little bit of research determined that was a lie.
What had happened to Black folk over all that period of time? So in the course of the civil rights movement, to end up, they say, well, let's pretend that nothing has happened to them, that they were not injured, they were not hurt. And now let's go seek integration and pretend that we're all equal. Now that was grossly unfair, because by that point in time and by the 1966 period, whites had become economic giants in America. They own and control everything at that point in time. Black folk didn't own anything. Whites control almost 100% of all the wealth, the income, the privileges, the businesses, the resources, and all levels of government. Blacks had nothing. Blacks were 1-foot midgets. And they allowed us then to use integration to walk from our communities, from our ghettos over in their communities, totally disarmed, not understanding anything, blind, naked, and then saying you go and compete. Compete with what? And that's what's happening in South Africa right now, where you have Black folk now who've been totally subjected to the most brutal form of legal and economic slavery around the world for almost 300 years in South Africa, where whites in South Africa control almost 100% of all the gold mines, the diamond mines, the chrome, the bauxite, the magnesium, the land, the businesses, the farms, the animals. And now in South Africa, they've been told that they're free. Now, anybody in his right mind would have said, hold it a second. Now, if there's been a reform in South Africa, since whites have gotten everything and blacks got nothing, you should have seen on the news a massive flux of whites trying to get out of South Africa. If there's going to be any significant real change, wouldn't you agree? Somebody would have been trying to get out of there. The airports would have been jammed. And you all haven't heard a peep. You know why? Because nothing is changing. Because in South Africa, the dominant, arrogant white society that's been so brutal to black folks still owns and controls 100% of all the gold mines, diamond mines, silver mines, Chrome bauxite. And they're telling those South Africans, you can now compete. And that's the problem in Black America. We've been told now that we can compete, and I say, well, with what?
Man, so that's the problem with integration right there. That's the problem with integration right there. But according to Omowale, Dr. Anderson is an integrationist. So again, a little bit of research determined that was a lie. Damn, brother, you're going out bad. You're going out bad, man. You're going out bad. But let me see another thing that I wanted to play for y'all too. Again, I know I don't have to defend Tariq, but it's just so easy. It's just so easy. Hold on. Okay, right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Watch what Tariq says. This is just the other night. This is just the other night. His latest broadcast right here. This is Tariq's latest broadcast right here. So now the whole time he's over here trying to convince Baba James Smalls that Tariq says we're not African, we ain't got nothing to do with Africa, and he's anti-African and all of that, right? But check this out.
Listen to this. We just be rent free for no reason. Hold on.
One thing that I do have that a lot of Black Americans don't have is a sense of knowing where you come from.
Okay.
One thing that I do have that a lot of Black Americans don't have is a sense of knowing where you come from.
Okay. In that narrative, this we don't know where we come from, that we've been here for half a damn millennia, guys. And sometimes longer than that. We know where we came from, okay? We know where we came from, and we're still where the place we came from. This is our homeland. This is the land we built. We're the only people who we're told we have to dig up some archaeological evidence of where we were 500 years ago. We've been here centuries. This is our spot, all right? We're not some lost tribe. This is our homeland right here. Yes, we have African ancestry. We can claim that too. Don't have a problem claiming that. I claim all Blackness globally, but I also claim foundational Black American culture, which is unique to us. We know where we came from, and we know where we are, and we know we didn't flee.
You got that, Omowale? Did you catch that, Omowale? Did you catch that? Are you going to still keep running with the lie and the narrative that Tariq Nasheed is brainwashing us all to be anti-African? Just because we are acknowledging our uniqueness as foundational Black Americans doesn't mean we're anti-African. Please stop telling that lie. It's not a good look. It's making your hairline recede. Pretty soon, you're going to be looking like me. All that lying, you too young. You too young to be clean like this, brother. All that lying, you see how your hairline going way back here? That's from all that lying. All that lying is pushing your hairline back, brother. The truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free, brother. Tell the truth and get a shape up. Tell the truth and go sit your ass in the barber chair and get lined up. And don't go see the Africans either. Make sure you get you a good FBA barber. You out there in Philly. You out there in Philadelphia, the home of the greatest barbers on planet Earth. And you running around here with that janky ass hairline? Come on, brother. You got to do better. You got to do better. Do I need to pull up a picture? Y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't want y'all to think I'm lying on this nigga. Hold on. Damn, I forgot his last name though. Oh, it's Africa. Okay. I think he spells it with a K. I don't want y'all to think I'm lying on this nigga. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, y'all. You in Philadelphia, my nigga? You in Philadelphia. Hold on a second now. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for this if you live in Philadelphia, my nigga, and you're supposed to be a foundational Black American. There's no excuse for this hairline right here. There's no excuse for this. I know some Philly barbers that could work miracles with the clippers, my nigga. There's no excuse for this. That's not even a 5 head. That's a 6 head or something. Look at that dome. That's from lying. That comes from lying, my nigga. You young as hell looking like this. You young as hell. Hairline sitting on the top of your head like that. Remember he called you a slave? That's tether talk. He called me a slave? No, I don't remember that. He called me a slave. What did he say? Man. I don't know, man. That hairline is very telling, though. That hairline is very telling. Hold on, brother. I'm a barber, though. I am a barber by trade, man. If you need my services, I do, have clippers will travel. Have clippers will travel because these are some issues that need to be taken care of, man. This hairline is unacceptable. Okay, you looking like the OG standing next to you, man. The OG, he got you by about at least 4-5 decades, and your hairline is just as far back as his. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, let me stop fucking around. Right now, in this day, we are seeing a virtual genocide in Ukraine, and it's very easy to fall into the identity politics trap. It's not an identity politics trap. It is what it is, man. We have our identities. There's nothing wrong with identifying who you are, what ethnic group you belong to. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no trap. There's no trap about that. Yeah, that's Marcus Garvey's son. Check our back channel. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, I just closed it. I just closed the what's the name. Hold on a second. I think she sent me something. In the source material? Okay, no, in the back channel. Okay, let me see. Let me see what this is right here. I think this is what she said. This is Tether Talk. This is Tether Talk. Let me see. Hold on. Identity politics. That sounds like a right-wing talking point. Are you a conservative? Do you consider yourself a conservative, Ian? Or is that an L? I don't know if that's an L or an I, but Mr. or Mrs. McKenna, do you consider yourself a conservative? That sounds like some of them conservative talking points. I'm only vested in liberation. I ain't arguing with no slaves over who created what on the plantation. Okay, but I understand what he's saying right there, even though I don't agree with it. I do understand what he's saying right there. He's saying he's not just calling me a slave. He's referring to us all as slaves. In that caption right there, because that's the part where we was talking about hip hop. I brought up us. Part of the reason of us delineating is for us to be able to claim some of our cultural accomplishments as well. Hip hop being one of the main things that tethers are trying to latch on to and claim for themselves. But he was talking about how that's not really important and it's trivial and blah, blah, blah. And so he's trying to say, you know, we slaves arguing about who created rap music is basically what he was trying to say. That's like shadow boxing is what he was trying to say. And I just disagree with him on that. I think that that is an important topic, and it is important to claim your cultural heritage and your cultural accomplishments and not allow other people to replace you. That's cultural gentrification. That's called cultural gentrification. And so, we is going to claim that. That is very important because, again, over and over, he kept saying everything is political. And so our culture is political also. Everything is warfare. And so our culture is warfare also. And so it's valid to me, but I understand it's not everybody's lane. That ain't got to be your lane. You ain't got to talk about hip hop. That's definitely my lane, though. I'm going to talk about hip hop. I'm definitely going to talk about hip hop. He established a rule where anybody who wore glasses were classed as intellectuals. Who did that? Well, Chairman Mao, okay, for example, in Vietnam. Okay, what are you talking about? They are classing them as Nazis. A lot of them are. They classify themselves as Nazis. You talking about in the Ukraine? A lot of them are. They over there wearing swastikas and shit. What you talking about? There's a lot of neo-Nazis over there in the Ukraine, according to them. Ain't nobody labeling them that. They wave that flag proudly. It's identity politics. It's actually left wing. No, it's the right. I'm saying it's a right wing talking point. That's what they say about the left wing. The right wing accuses the left wing of playing identity politics. But guess what? I got beef with the whole damn bird. The right wing and the left wing. It's the same damn bird. I don't get into all of that. Now, I'm playing identity politics according to you. You playing left wing, right wing politics. I don't get into that. I don't get into none of that. Does anyone know what Ian McKenna is talking about? Yeah, I know what he's talking about, kind of. I kind of know what he's talking about. Leave him alone, though. He's fine. Don't block him or nothing like that. He's fine. No, the Grozny political party won under 2 Okay. All right. Whatever, man. You here on this Ukraine shit. Are you from the Ukraine or something? Not with a name like McKenna. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject right there. But you're fine. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for adding on to the conversation, even though you're having your own conversation over there. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that about does it for tonight. I've been on here for quite some time with y'all. Been on here for quite some time with y'all. No, I'm just interested in politics. Okay, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Let me see. Before I go, let me play another song for y'all. How about that? Can I'm taking requests. I'm taking requests. What song y'all want to hear from the new album before we get out of here? Those of y'all who already got it, let me know what song you want to hear. Why do I gotta go through this though? Where's iTunes at? Let me know what song y'all want me to play before we bounce. Uh-oh, I see Sunshine twice already. Yeah. All roads lead to white supremacy. That's right in his act. Salute, family. Yeah. Sour God in the building. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. You still going? You still talking about? Okay. I guess Sunshine it is. Somebody said Within War. I'm gonna play Sunshine.
Sunshine. Wisdom is a wise word spoken by the wise man. Wisdom is also symbolized in the black woman. Long natural hair, short with the wave. I give a shout out to my sisters with the curly braids. They call it 4C, we call it 9 ether. She suffer autoimmune We gon' see what's on the goddess mind. She says she working on healing from her past trauma. Police killed her dad and shit was bad for her mama. Drug addicted, she neglected her brothers and sisters. She never felt beautiful cause she was dark skinned. That's heartbreaking, ain't it? But darling ain't complaining. She on a cleaner fool. She know the woman's sacred, divine feminine, with spice like cinnamon. She only want that strong masculine, but still a gentleman. Daytime, nighttime, her skin glow like sunshine. Sprinkling a little bit of sunshine. Daytime, nighttime, her skin glow like sunshine. Sprinkling a little bit of sunshine. She only came on the 7th and the 25th. That's why she tastes like nectar. Give me a kiss. Not every black woman is a goddess, but if you got one, then I can make you a promise. The weapons might form against you, but none will prosper. If you got her, she'll elevate you to your highest chakra. She the mother, she the healer, she the oracle. That's my uncomfortable mirror, I could be vulnerable. We all came to this world through the sacred womb, including every last king in the ancient tomb. So how could they assume that she ghetto, she ratchet, when she inspired every trend that came into fashion? Yeah. God stunned when he made that. Keep it 100, I don't want it if it ain't black. I go to war with you, I'm on the front line. We gon' be just fine, cause you my sunshine. Daytime, nighttime, her skin glow like sunshine. Sprinkling a little bit of sunshine. Daytime, nighttime, her skin glow like sunshine.
Hey, that's the ingredients right there. That's how you make a black woman. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? That's how you make a black woman. Daytime, nighttime, her skin glows like sunshine. Cocoa, honey and gold, sprinkling a little bit of sunshine. That's how you make a black woman, by the way. You ain't know that? You learn something new every day. Yeah. Cocoa, honey and gold, sprinkling a little bit of sunshine. Yeah, that's how you make a black woman. You learn something new every day. Now you know. Now you know. Go get you one. Go get you one. I appreciate y'all, man. So y'all gotta make sure that y'all go to www.themastersrsvp.com and cop the Masters table right now, man. That Sunshine joint is on there. The one that I played earlier, Revenge of the Akata, that joint is on there. The first single that we put out last year sometime, Plandemic, that joint is on there. Got a couple of joints on there, man. The Purple Tape is on there. You know what I'm saying? That Purple Tape joint, one of my favorites. That joint is on there. Y'all got to go check it out, man. Go to www.themastersrsvp.com. You can get the digital download, the CD, the hoodie, the poster, all of that good stuff. Go ahead, go place your orders now. If you want to support the broadcast, you could use the super chat if you choose, but I would prefer that you use the Cash App and hit up $godcastent. $godcastent. We appreciate all your support for sure, 100%. All right. That Plandemic joint slap. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you to my mods. Miss Crown 808 putting the link in the chat for y'all. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to my co-host, Nicety Girl in the digital building. Shout out to my Mama Love in the digital building, always supporting the platform. Shout out to all of the B1 family, all of the FBA family, all my non-FBA riders out there. Shout out to y'all. Love and respect to Professor James Smalls. I completely understand where he was coming from with everything that he was saying on that broadcast. Omowale, again, I gave you the benefit of the doubt, brother, but I think you've shown what your true colors are. You have some other type of agenda going on, And you are very deceptive, and I can't get down with that. And so that does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. I appreciate all y'all tuning in. Again, make sure everybody like, share, subscribe, all of that good type of stuff that I need y'all to do to help boost me into the algorithms. And until next time, I will see you guys. Make sure you tune in on Thursday. This Thursday is the Pick Me Godcast, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Nicely Girl, Brown Skin Baddie will be in the building for another episode of the Pick Me Godcast. I don't know off top what this week's topic is going to be about, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. And so y'all make sure that you guys got the notification bells on for that. But again, man, I come on here and I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I utilize my talents and my skills in order to deliver information to the family, and also so that we can congregate and build with each other. You know what I mean? Iron sharpen iron and steel sharpen steel. And so, again, with that being said, family, I'm not the master teacher. I am only a master student and signal booster for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
Master elements.
Racism, white supremacy is a dynamic system for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival on the planet. White supremacy.
My apologies, family. Some of y'all were asking in the chat, when is the listening party going to be? March 16th. I'm shooting for March 16th. That's going to be on a Thursday. March 16th. We're going to do a listening party right here on the channel. We're going to have some of the people that were featured on the album. We're going to have some of the supporters who have been rocking with us from the beginning pull up, and we're going to have a little virtual listening party, listening to the album right before it goes live on streaming platforms. March 17th, which is my born day, the album will be available on all streaming platforms. So right before that takes place, we're going to have the virtual party right here on this channel. And so I just wanted to give y'all that update too. So peace.
Master elements.
Racism, white supremacy is a dynamic system for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival on the planet. White supremacy.
You are in an evil system, a system that is designed deliberately to produce evil thoughts, to produce animosity, to produce violence.
Introduction to African civilizations and man-garden civilization.
Master elements. Master elements.
We dedicate lives to the study of history.
They didn't tell us that if you give up a man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation.
The right way is clearly distinct from error.
Racism is a competitive relationship between groups of people who are competing for the ownership and control of resources, wealth, and power.
Master elements.
Do for self.
yourself or suffer the consequences.